Hey guys, I'm Nick Eastwood here for 888 Poker, and today I'm joined by Ian Simpson, newest ambassador for 888. And today we're going to be looking at some hands from some past 888 Poker tournaments. I think we have one starting in Madrid. If you're ready, Ian.
Sounds good to me.
Go.
We start with a pretty hand. 10 jack suited under the gun, easy open.
So we have 10 20k blinds here, and we have an open from Mr. Under the Gun. He has, he's folded. He has 10.
What the f are we watching? Did he have 10 bigs with 10 jack suited? That's a jam.
So it looks like we're going to have an open here from Under the Gun +3 with ace-8 of clubs.
He just fucking folded ace-8 suited. So it's folded around to the big stack. 1.3.
1.3 million. How many big blinds is that, Ian? It's many.
Many big blinds. A
Many
20k
big
big BB.
So he is going to, I would hope, open the button.
Yeah. 65 bigs. Very happy open.
Opening the button to, what would you make this, Ian?
Depends on the big blind. If it's someone good in the big blind, I will go 2.3x. If it's a recreational, I'll just min raise. I want to play more hands against recreationals, and they'll make mistakes post flop.
Mr. Attila from, I believe that's a Hungary flag. Although I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Attila has a decision with Queen 8. I like to fold. What do you think?
It's because you're a cash player and you don't know how to play tournament small blind.
You can call small blind here, I guess.
Yeah, man.
You would never fold this hand?
God, no.
God, no.
Good 3-bet if you're feeling spicy.
Okay.
Do not fold.
But we don't want to tangle too much. But we seem to have a lot of money, you know? We're very deep, and a lot of other people on the table don't have many big blinds. So maybe we don't want to tangle too much in situations where we can be dominated.
Don't fold Queen 8 suited.
Don't fold Queen 8 suited, dude. 7, 10, 6 flush draw.
Big blind comes along as well. It's a little bit loose. I don't hate it. He's
A little bit loose or just straight bad?
it's very borderline. It's just connected, but you're going 3 ways. You're going 3 ways against wide ranges. It's whatever.
Most importantly though, we have 2 flush draws on the board, and this is the kind of thing I'm talking about with a hand like Queen 8 of diamonds can be dominated. We do check through, which is interesting.
I think small blind and big blind could consider having leading ranges here, depending on the types of opponents they have. Attila has a very interesting hand because he actually blocks the nuts on the flop, and he can credibly rep the nuts. He has all the 8-9s, he has pocket 6s, he has pocket 7s. He could have 6, he should have 6-7 suited as well. So yeah, he's got a decision point straight away. He's probably just going to check. He has checked.
So it checks through to Alvaro on the button, and he has a decision with ace-5 of diamonds. I think he can go either way here, but maybe betting seems like the best strategy. What do you think?
I agree. There are many universes where you have a heck of a lot of equity and you have people in dominated positions with worse flush draws. You can even get better hands to start folding. If your opponent has an ace-7 and ace-6, looking at Marius, he does have a pair that we can make fold. Yeah, I think I'd lean towards betting this one.
We do, however, check, which is reasonable. And we see a turn, which is the 8. So we were in the small blind shoes on the turn, and we decide to lead for 100k into 146. Ian, how do you feel about that decision?
Well, it's an interesting hand to do it. I certainly want to have leads here as Attila. We're going to have plenty of 9x that wants to get value.
Absolutely.
And a bit of protection from 2 pairs. Even pocket 8s can be out there, something like that. Worse hands can certainly call when you have a 9 here. Is Queen 8 the hand to lead here with the pair and the flush draw?
I think our hand is a bit too strong to bet in a way, because we don't really want to get, I mean, we can call a raise, but our hand maybe wants to show down a bit more than start building a pot, I would say.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah. And Alvaro shoes, he has somewhat of an interesting decision now. He could, I think, the best players to call, but he does have a hand that has multiple draws. And yeah, he could decide to flick in a raise. I think I prefer to just call and see the turn in position.
As played, I agree, but yeah, I wouldn't be against a bluff raise now necessarily, because we are going to check back 9x on the flop, so
sure,
that's the thing. I think calling is the best play for now.
I think calling is the best play, and I believe that's what we will see Alvaro do as we move forward to his decision.
Been surprised before, though.
We have a reach from Alvaro. The river brings the king of diamonds, which is a very interesting card. Now, we're going to look at something in a second here from Attila's reaction, which is quite funny. But the king of diamonds gives Attila the second nuts, which means he loses to even less flushes than he may have done on lower diamond. So he's feeling even more confident in his hand. As you can see, Attila isn't shy of hiding the fact that he's made a flush on the river as he starts to make several interesting tells, would you say, Ian?
I would be inclined to agree, yeah.
Little lean over. Oh, is that a flush I've got? Yeah, got a flush.
Little tip, take a little time to practice your behavior at the table. Try and be consistent regardless of what the flop, turn, and river are bringing to you.
Absolutely. We go for a check, which I don't enjoy.
Not at all.
What do you think about that check?
Damn.
We're obviously going for a check raise.
We are gonna miss value from 9x, which would be very sad. 2-pair can't hero call us now, those hands.
Do you think 9x will check back?
I don't think 9x should check back, but we might lose value against it because some people will check it back, scared of the flush. Not saying they should, but it happens.
So we like betting the river, and now Alvaro, I would say, has a betting situation.
He does, and he's got to ask, what sizing?
I like a larger bet.
Yes, for sure, because your opponent isn't going to fold a 9, and there are plenty of 9s in our opponent's turn-leading range.
We also don't love blocking in position. We prefer to use larger sizes when we're check 2 on the river and we want to develop betting ranges.
How big, dude?
I would use large. I would use large bets.
How
here.
large?
Well, let's think. What's the worst hand we're going to be betting for value here? And we build our betting range from there. So I would say we probably want to start. We'll probably want to bet a 9. I can't imagine checking back a 9. So we definitely want to have some medium-sized bets. But we also have clearly a lot of flushes, especially if we're going to be checking back a flop a lot with our nut flush draws. So we have a lot of flushes that want to use large sizings. The problem is our opponent should be betting his flushes on the river.
Right.
Therefore, what are we targeting? What do you think?
9x is what I'm really targeting. People aren't going to fold a straight. People don't come to play live poker to fold straight.
They didn't come all the way to Madrid to fold a straight.
No. So I'm tempted to overbet.
I would agree with you.
I wouldn't put my opponent's tournament life on the line with it. That'll get you some folds and would be a particularly big overbet in this specific situation. But I would be tempted to go like 450 or something.
450, 500,000?
Yeah.
Something that puts some serious pressure on our opponent's range.
For sure.
Let's see if Alvaro agrees with his rather luscious looking locks.
He does have luscious locks.
Look at that beard.
Jealous, man.
I know. I can't grow the beard, you can't grow the hair. We get a bet of 135k, which is just utter nonsense, really. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Savage.
it is. I mean, what do you think?
The problem with a small bet with the nut flush is that you block their key bluff hand. So I might go the third pot with a smaller flush, hoping my opponent has the naked ace of diamonds. Because if our opponent has ace of diamonds X, that is the bluff card. You want to induce that hand into bluffing, call, win, happy day. When you have the ace of diamonds, you block your opponent's check raise bluffs. So that's very sad beans. So go greedy.
Absolutely go greedy. And also, people don't like folding very much, so.
People hate folding.
I would just bet bigger. We have the nut flush.
People haven't folded to a bluff to me for 6 days, so.
No. I can't remember the last time I folded a river. Attila, well, Attila's checked to, interesting here, because Attila's checked to check raise, and say Alvaro had used 500k, I don't think Attila can shove.
No, just has to call then.
Because basically Alvaro's, he's saying he has the ace of diamonds or the nut flush. So Attila would have a call. Now, versus this small bet, fortunately for Alvaro, Attila's going to have to bang in some more money.
How much? As played, your opponent is kind of not repping a huge hand with the small bet. So I actually
clicked it.
He's click raised it. I would go a bit greedy here.
What I like to call this raise from Attila is a megaphone. He's basically said, I've got a flush. I don't think you're going to find people check raising this river with anything less than a flush. Fortunately for Alvaro,
he's got the flush.
He's got the flush, and although Attila is extremely happy, he's about to not be, I imagine, because Alvaro will be asking for the remaining chips in his stack.
Can I just ask, when was the last time someone minimum check raised you when you were holding the nut flush?
It's never happened to me before.
Damn, guys.
What a lie.
What a lie.
All in. He barely waits any time at all to shove. So this is the megaphone of all megaphones. He's just basically saying, so here's my problem with this from Alvaro. I mean, we've got the nuts, and we're probably going to get called because, you know, Attila's obviously representing a very strong range when he min-click raises the river. But the problem is, we have just only the nuts here, and if we wanted to bluff, for example, say we have to find a hand.
You have to dig deep for the bluff here.
We have to find a hand that Alvaro value bets the river with, that now wants to bluff over a very obvious check raise or value. What would that even look like, Ian?
Honestly, sometimes I don't even worry about my opponents finding my bluffs.
Sure.
because sometimes it's just so damn hot. In this particular spot,
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about playing GTO. I'm just going to go for, you know, playing against my opponent's hand.
In our opponent's shoes, Attila, if you see just a very quick all-in from Alvaro, you're going to be thinking, well, maybe I can now get away. We have 514,000 remaining in our stack, Ian. What do you think? This is the ultimate megaphone of a raise.
3-bet on a river. Yeah, when was the last time you saw a 3-bet on a river and that wasn't the good?
Attila snaps it off, which I am not sure about.
No, there's so many decision points that went just the ways we wouldn't have played them, I guess.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to analyze a situation on the river when you would never get there with your own style of play. As played, I think Attila can find the fold on that river.
Yeah.
Because a 3-bet on the river is so rarely a bluff.
He gave himself the best possible chance playing it how he did to not go broke. If he had bet the river and for 2/3 and we have a shove from the button, he just calls and loses, and that's fine. But losing this way, I think it kind of hurts a bit more. If you want to see more of these hands, then make sure you're subscribed to the channel, click the like button and that notification bell down below.